Alright, lean in. Let me talk to you properly now. Because this part of my story is about my anxious heart and the dismissive avoidance. You see, when you grow up with a father who quietly loves you from a distance, present in the room, yeah, but miles away in his spirit, you learn from early how to feel everything and say absolutely nothing. That kind of silence, it don't just shape you, it trains you. You learn to tiptoe around tension. You learn to accept crumbs and call it love, because that's what your inner child remembers as normal. So of course, I ended up drawn to men who moved exactly the same way. Dismissive, distant. Not wicked, not cruel, just emotionally somewhere else. Men who made my heart feel familiar, and familiar isn't always good. I've only had a few partners. You could count them on one hand. But the patterns? Lord. Their dismissive attachment wounds had me on a loop for decades. No one ever truly understands how deep it cuts to be almost loved unless it's happened to you. To sit beside someone who touches your body but never really tried to reach your heart. To laugh with them, talk with them, share memories, look like a couple in the half light. But deep down, you know, just one honest conversation could turn you into strangers again. People don't talk about the loneliness of almost chosen. To be close but not claimed. To be known but not chosen. To memorize how someone breathes and realize they never cared how you exhale. We called it no pressure, but really, it was pressure all the time. Pressure not to feel too much, not to ask too much, not to want too much. And before I knew it, I started thinking I was the problem. Maybe I'm too intense. Maybe I'm too emotional. Maybe I'm too hard to love. But no. I just loved someone who kept me in the grey, holding emotional topics at service levels. And here's the madness. I knew. Somewhere deep inside, I knew. But hope? Hope will make an anxious heart stay a little too long, accept a little too little, and shrink itself into something quiet, convenient, when you were always meant to be loud, sure, and fully held. And don't let anyone fool you. Something doesn't need a title to break your heart. Unofficial doesn't mean unimportant. You still have to find your way back to yourself when it's over. So after many years on my own, growing, standing firm in my worth, I genuinely believed I'd washed all of that out my system. I thought time had cleared the residue. I thought my body had forgotten the ache. I thought the past was done with me. Oh, but healing does not work like that. Real healing circles back when it's ready, quietly, gently, patiently, waiting for you to see the part you played too. Okay then, with my grown woman healing clarity, this is the truth. It wasn't just their avoidant heart that caused the friction. My anxious heart had its own storm, its own trigger points, its own cries for reassurance that sometimes came out as panic, as overthinking, as that old familiar fear of abandonment. And them? They had their wounds too. The childhood ones that taught them to shut down, step back, and disappear whenever closeness felt unsafe. We were two nervous systems trying to survive each other, not because we didn't care, but because our inner children were still running the show. Looking back now, I'm sorry. Not please take me back sorry, but grown woman sorry. Compassionate sorry. Honest sorry. I'm sorry for the moments my fear triggered their walls. I'm sorry for the moments their silence triggered my panic. And I'm sorry that with both our childhood traumas, we never really stood a chance. Not in the form we had then. Now, with all the healing behind me, I finally see it clearly. The part I played, the part they played. The quiet hurt we passed between us that neither of us meant to give. And when I prayed, truly prayed for clarity, for truth, for closure, the universe brought help, a mirror, a truth I needed, not to reopen an old love, but to look back with forgiveness and finally close those old wounds. And that's what leads us straight into the next scene. 2 letters from 2 hearts that once triggered each other, once spoke in 2 different emotional languages, but are now healed enough, grounded enough, to send each other closure, with emotional maturity they previously didn't have to give. A healed dismissive heart and a healed anxious heart, finally saying the words they couldn't say back then. Not to rekindle anything, but to release each other with peace.
Through it all,